Hello everybody, I'm Sergio Gomez here at Art Next Level Projects, and I'm with artist Marina Ross. How are you, Marina?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good. So we are here, a quick preview of the show that opens this Friday at 33 Contemporary Gallery, now Art Next Level Projects. The show opens up at 7 p.m., 7 to 10 p.m., and it's a 2% show with Marina Ross and Sahagun. And so Marina's going to tell us a little bit about some of the pieces that we can find in the show, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we start with this an awesome sculpture work here that I want to show you. And maybe, Marina, you can tell us a little bit about this piece. Let me get back here.
So this is a sculpture I just made in the last couple of days in the gallery using some of the furniture here. It's made out of a lot of clothing. It has plastic bags that are fused together, plastic wrap, and then artificial flowers that are sort of scattered around through it. And I had always been wanting to use fabrics and clothing and this kind of tension of something wrapped, because it reminded me a lot of how I'm using paint in my paintings. So I was inspired to do this piece specifically from the Rana Plaza collapse, which was a garment factory in Bangladesh that collapsed. Mm-hmm. And so basically it's showing a little bit of chaos and tension, and the flowers are kind of acting as a memorial, but it's not really at the center of the work. At the center of the work is this kind of chaotic, tied up effect that the clothing and all the plastic has together.
Absolutely. Now, when you have a concept for a piece like this, what's the process? You started collecting clothes, and then did you have something envisioned as you started putting it together, or it's very intuitive?
I was thinking about this for a couple months, but because sculpture isn't something that comes easily to me the way that painting is, I never actually made anything. I just kind of kept thinking about materials I want to use, the size, and just kind of how I would do it. But it was just these vague ideas I had in my head, and it wasn't until I got in the space and I brought all the materials together that I sort of, through the labor of it and through doing it, I figured out how it would look.
Awesome. So now let's take a look. There's also some really beautiful paintings here. The whole exhibit is an installation, so I'm going to give you a quick tour, not too much because I want you to come and see the show on Friday. But their walls are painted. There are, works on the floor, works on the wall. Tell us a little bit about maybe the one that's right behind you, which is a pretty awesome. It's a painting that also becomes part of a larger installation. Maybe if I show you a little bit closer here, pieces are just like falling off the wall and almost looks like a run down corner somewhere in another country. So tell me a little bit about this piece.
Yeah, so this piece I made about 1 year ago when I was living in New York, and it started out as actually a different piece that you can see underneath some of the marks. It's these kind of geometric blue shapes on the bottom. That was a piece I had started and didn't really like, so I just went over it, but in the process I decided not to go completely over it and just to leave that and sort of make the piece more about the paint handling and the color and this kind of pink area that emerges out of the figure. And because that was how the piece came out, I wanted to emphasize that through what would be behind it. And so we painted this wall pink, and the paint started to peel off of the wall. So we thought that was perfect for the concept. So we kept it.
It looks pretty awesome. It looks pretty cool. It's a really, really nice installation piece. And then after that, we have another painting here, one of your paintings.
Yeah, this was a painting I just finished this summer. It was originally supposed to be more of a realist, figurative, kind of slower, more meditative piece of my sister. It's a photo of her sitting on the couch looking at her iPhone. And there was just something so quiet about the painting and the situation that I thought would be a nice contrast to some of the other pieces in the show that are a little bit louder, more chaotic. And it was kind of slow and figurative, and then I just sort of went over the whole thing to make these sort of denser areas of color, and there's a lot of oil on the top, so it has like a nice glaze on it, but sort of it's more of an atmosphere than an image.
Absolutely, and it does has like that kind of like dream quality, like some sort of memory where you cannot quite make who's the person behind it, and it doesn't really matter, you know, it becomes like this vague image that kind of goes through your mind at some point, and then just keep on going.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, and then let's talk about one more piece. I want to show you another pretty awesome piece in the show. This one is an installation work that, you know, incorporates some objects, paintings, wall painting too. So tell us a little bit about this one, Marina.
Yeah, so it started with an image that I found of just a pile of garbage in Brooklyn that to me was very aesthetically pleasing for some reason, with the colors and the shapes, just sort of a formal interest. And so I really wanted to, well, first I made this painting on the bottom of it that I kind of blurred out. It wasn't that successful, and then I decided that I wanted to actually recreate the pile of garbage out of another pile of garbage. So the way that I compose these different elements is really similarly to how I paint. Again, I'm finding a lot of similarities between working in different materials to how I, you know, work in painting. So it's just kind of pushing and pulling all these different materials on top of each other, and I love it because it's so immediate. You can just spend 5 minutes arranging them and you have something. So it started out with that, and then I found this bike that I thought went really well into this scene.
Even the color kind of works right into.
Because I found some kind of childish elements scattered throughout the work.
That's pretty cool. Now, how does it work for you? On this show, you had a chance to also work with another artist, with Luis, and so from the beginning it became kind of a process of conversation, right? And that's how some of these pieces kind of also evolve. So how was it for you working, you know, in collaboration with another artist?
So, like I said, I had never done sculpture installation before, and Luis had. So when I came to his studio and I see all these sculptures and installations that were very similar to how I like to work, very immediate, very quick, and just using whatever's on hand, I instantly felt like that there was the connection. And then I ended up making this first piece in his studio, and I saw a lot of connections between material and between how things were coming together. So we were talking a lot about that, about material, about labor, about ideas in our work. And it was, I think, what kind of originally the work together looked similar just because we were both using a lot of the same materials but using them in different ways.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Marina. Thank you for this brief preview of what's coming up for Friday. So we want to invite you to come on Friday at 33 Contemporary Gallery. We're on the 4th floor of the Joe VR Center, Art Next Level Projects. Marina will be here. We're going to have a great time. So we hope you can make it. See you later.
Bye.